weather impact day, which we have in place for very extreme cold temperatures that we had this morning into the negatives. Barely made it up there into the upper teens today, and then we'll have possibly a little light wave of snow coming our way later on this evening, perhaps in just a couple of hours. We're watching that wave of snow move into the state of Colorado from the north. It's kind of in the Fort Collins area right now, and it does look very weak. Not too much snow falling out of this thing, so if it remains that light, it's going to be very little impact as it moves through the Front Range, but some of the modeling does still insist that that wave of snow showers will intensify just a little bit as it comes closer to the Denver metro area about 9 o'clock this evening. So we'll see if that actually happens, but right now that wave of snow not looking too impressive at the moment. We'll have to keep an eye on it as we go through the night. So we have the cold air alerts in. There's no advisories out for that wave of snow that's coming tonight. There wasn't to begin with, even before it started looking this week, but all the snow advisories have been since moved out of here after that first wave of snow came through on Friday night into Saturday. So now we're left just with the extreme cold, and that does include the wind chill. So on the cold alerts map here, what you're seeing there in the light blue shaded area is the cold weather advisory. So temperatures as low as -10 will be possible, and that even does include the Denver metro area. Our current forecast is in the -4 to -5 range, but the temperature is dropping relatively quickly tonight, so we'll see how low that goes. I think not if that wave of snow ends up being a little bit weaker. I think we could see the temperatures rise a little bit, or actually be lower, rise into the lower negatives, if that makes any sense. Wind chills as low as -25 in this area, and that does include the Front Range as well. Down the green area, that is an extreme cold watch. So the National Weather Service is watching that area in green to see if they want to put it as a cold weather advisory or an extreme cold warning. But they're expecting those wind chills could be in the -35 to -50 range, and that would include El Paso County and Teller County just to our south, and some parts of the mountains, also the southeast plains and the I-70 East corridor into Kit Carson. You see the purple area there up in Wyoming and the Nebraska Panhandle for now, but also Yuma County in Colorado is included in the extreme cold warning, so extreme cold temperatures and wind chills. Although the forecast low temperature tomorrow morning in Yuma is -2, but if the wind should kick up into the 20 to 30 mile per hour, you get into that -35 to -50 wind chills. So that is something to watch for out there on the eastern plains. But you see those forecast low temperatures for now: -4 in Greeley and Denver and Colorado Springs, -5 in Fort Collins. So not quite as extreme cold as the previous night, which would have been this morning, and also coming again on Tuesday morning. But once again, we'll all be in the negatives. Much of the state into the negatives, except for the western slope once again, and some of the southeast plains on this one. So the impact here would definitely be the wind chills, -15 to -25. That is the range of possibility here on the Front Range, and when you get into that, frostbite can come in just 30 minutes. So you really have to limit your exposure to bare skin to under that 30-minute mark here to make sure you don't get into any wind chill troubles and frostbite issues going through tonight and tomorrow night as well. So here's the forecast as we go into the night. We slowly see those wind chill temperatures dropping, but only into the negative teens here, or actually the negative single digits in the Denver metro area and much of the Front Range. So what that would essentially mean of a -6 wind chill tomorrow, if the air temperature is -4 and you only have a 1 mile per hour breeze, That's why the wind chill doesn't rise too high. But up to the north, where we do have that extreme cold warning in place in parts of Wyoming, like Laramie, Rawlins, Cheyenne, and also the Nebraska Panhandle, Scottsbluff, Ogallala, looking at those really deep, cold, negative wind chill temperatures possible. So that's kind of what they're watching for, to see if it'll expand into Colorado in the next, not only tomorrow morning, but also on Tuesday morning as well. The high temperatures, and we don't expect the temperatures to get up too high tomorrow. In fact, they may remain in the single digits. Our forecast for now, 10 degrees in Denver, so if we make it down to the -5 range, -4, get up to -10, that's not much of a rise there. Oh, and again, the Fort Collins and Greeley temperatures are much colder than that. That's an error. I don't think anybody's gonna make it into the 20s tomorrow, honestly. The Northeast Plains here and the Southeast Plains included, high temperatures in the low teens to maybe even single digits for tomorrow. And as far as that wave of snow, you can see it here being characterized by this computer model. Fairly weak looking at this point at 7 o'clock at night, but as we put that model into motion, it does look like it still has that potential to expand and become a little bit heavier as it approaches the Denver metro area right after about 9 o'clock tonight. And then you see here by 10 o'clock, some decent little snow showers in the Denver metro area. So this could be impactful at those temperatures. We're not looking at a ton of accumulation with this, because watch how fast it moves through. By about 4 o'clock in the morning, the bulk of it is pretty much over already, long before sunrise. We do have a continuation of flurries that will remain possible for several hours, maybe to the 7 or 8 o'clock hour. And then by 9 a.m. tomorrow, that does start to clear out. And we're looking at clear skies tomorrow night. So Monday night, if it does completely clear out, I mean, the temperature could drop very quickly, because we'll have radiational cooling along with the cold air that's being transported from the second wave of that polar vortex. As you look at this computer model right here, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, already 1 degree in Denver, 4 in Fort Lupton, -8 in Elizabeth. So potentially Tuesday morning could be the coldest snap of this polar vortex event. So that's something to definitely watch. If those skies clear out tomorrow night like that quick, we could be looking at some very dangerous temperatures on Tuesday morning. As far as that snow, the forecast for the snow coming tonight, there is not a lot of potential with this. Even if it does become a little bit more filled out, I think we're only looking at about a 1 to 2 inch probability. It's hard to imagine too many places getting more than 2 inches out of a weak, fast-moving wave like that. It would definitely have to slow down and fill out. The potential would be a little higher in some of the foothills areas, places like the Boulder County foothills that got hit hard with the first wave of snow, and also probably parts of Gilpin, Clear Creek County, and northern Jefferson County foothills would have that potential as well. But we're looking at it on radar right now, and the beginning of it is not looking very impressive. So it'll definitely have to get a little bit better to do some damage. So when you look at the jet stream forecast, which is essentially the weather pattern, the upper air way above our heads that dictates our weather pattern, wondering if this might be known, this polar vortex event might become a historic known event. And it obviously won't be here in Colorado, but in other areas it could be. There's some records being broken as far as wind chills and negative low temperatures in parts of the upper Midwest in particular. But as that second that final lobe of cold air comes around the bottom of this vortex, you can kind of see the lowest green shaded area stretching down into Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia. These are places that coming on Tuesday could get accumulating snow for the first time since the 2018 polar vortex. And then if we keep the forecast going there, we may warm up very quickly on Tuesday, even into the 40s. But then another little wave of low pressure comes through, quickly cooling us off Wednesday night into Thursday, and then we'll get behind that a very quick ridge of high pressure that could bring a warm temperature to us on Friday, and then we'll have another cold weekend. So when we track that cold air, you see how it just really, the bulk of it just missed Colorado. But we do have one more batch of that. This is a little bit of a weaker wave of cold air coming on Thursday, or it's actually Wednesday night into Thursday. So we'll feel that, and that'll drop us. If we warm up on Tuesday, it'll be short-lived in front of that next batch. So when we look at the highlights for this Arctic blast here, these are pretty extreme statistics here, but we're not talking about historic statistics. The hours below freezing, 92 hours. That's from about 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon to about noon on Tuesday. 92 consecutive hours below freezing. The lowest temperature we've seen here in Denver so far is -11, and that happened earlier this morning. And about the same time, we had the coldest wind chill, which was -30. So those two temperatures did verify there. And the snow totals are pretty much verified as well. With the first wave here, we saw 3 to 4 inches for the most part in the Denver metro area. And so if we can squeeze out another inch or maybe even 2 out of tonight's little wave of snow, we'll be right in that 3 to 6 inch range there pretty comfortably. So the snow did kind of verify. So what about the records? People are asking, are we breaking any records with these negative temperatures? And most likely the answer is no. So the first couple of days, so it did hit -10 yesterday on Saturday, because just before midnight it did drop to -10. So officially the lowest temperature on Saturday was -10, and then after midnight into Sunday it hit -11. So -11 is the low temperature for today, and those two temperatures are actually about 9 degrees away still from tying the all-time coldest temperature for that day, -19 on January 18th, -20 on January 19th. Now the next two temperatures there, -18 for tomorrow, that would be very difficult, I think, but the -15 on Tuesday, that could be in jeopardy, especially if we really get those skies to clear out quickly on Monday night. We could drop those temperatures down close to that -15 mark. So we still do have a shot at tying or breaking a cold record with this polar vortex event. And so on your 7-day forecast here, you see 1.5 more weather impact days to go. We'll have potentially some snow impacts tomorrow morning, but it'll most likely be just the extreme cold temperatures down into about, starting the day at about -5, going up to 10 degrees as a high temperature. And then right now the forecast for Tuesday morning is -10, which, like we said, the potential there is for it to drop even lower than that, but we'll keep the -10 as the low on Tuesday, and then we could go from -10 to 41 on Tuesday, which would be a significant warm-up. You rarely see 50 degrees of warming in one single day, but that is potentially what will happen after this cold air moves out on Tuesday. And then as you look at the rest of your week there, it's pretty much right in the ballpark for normal this time of year. In December, we would be looking at a week like the end of this week, like a serious cold snap. But as January has panned out, this is actually a warm-up for us, and so we'll look at it like that heading into next weekend, where we will see our one more little snap of Arctic air coming our way on Saturday, and that could also bring in a little accumulating snow on Saturday. So that's something to look forward to in your week. Hopefully that helps you with all your planning purposes for today, tomorrow, and into the next week. Stay warm if you can, avoid the wind chills, and have a great week.